we are going to study what is singleton in Java. For this, as you know, go to your Eclipse. We are going to start by creating a class in Eclipse. So for this, we need to create a class. Let's see the definition of singleton. I'm going to create a package singleton. Singleton is not a keyword. It's just a concept. Then I'm having a test class. Okay, now right click on your package and create a class. I'm going to take the example of DB configuration. Okay, sorry. Then I'm going to configure this class using Singleton Design Pattern. For creating a Singleton Design Pattern, we need to ensure that the class has only one instance. The singleton is a useful design pattern for allowing only a single instance of your class. To create a singleton class, we need a static member of a class. I'm going to show you this, how to create a static member of a class like instance variable. So go to your Eclipse. Let me just create a member or a field. I'm going to use private static DB configuration class name. I'm going to fix it by using the final keyword DB configuration reference D is equals to the object of DB configuration class, new DB configuration. Here I have created an instance, static instance, which is static and final. Then I'm going to create a private constructor for my class. This is a second rule. Okay, so let me just create a private constructor. I'm also going to show you how I'm going to use this constructor. I'm going to create instance variable like host name, username and password. So here you can see a private constructor is created. Then let me create a variable host name. It will be a string host name. And then a database name. It's just an example to show you where we can use singleton design pattern. As only one instance of this DB configuration is created, we can use this object many times like configuration, host name, username, password. So let me just create only the getters for host name and database name. You don't have to create the getters for new DB configuration D. So generate only the getters. Okay, I'm just going to remove. Let me just adjust my code so that you can see. Okay, so I'm going to use the default constructor. This is my constructor. Save it, format our code. I'm going to give value of host name and the database name. Just make complete URL localhost and the port number and then the database name. We can have any database name or schema name. I'm just going to use a simple Oracle. It's just an example to show you where we can use singleton design pattern. In framework it is used. Here I've created a constructor and then a static method. The static method will return the instance like the D which I've created, the same instance again and again. So public static, the return type will be DB configuration. As I'm going to return the instance of that class only, as we are not allowed to create object again and again in Singleton Design Pattern to return the same instance. Here in this example you can see three rules are defined. This is the first one, and the second one, private constructor and public method. Okay, now I'm going to just tell you what it means. Static method, it gets memory only once. It contains an instance of singleton class. I'm going to copy and show you where it is. It's written here. I'm going to paste it. Okay, we have created an instance of a class that contains object. Okay, so static member, it gets memory only once. Let me just adjust the code. It contains an instance of a class that we have defined for singleton. This is the first rule for creating a static final instance variable that has the object of the class. Now let's see the second, private constructor. It prevents to instantiate the singleton class. As you know, we have created a private constructor. If we try to create a object outside this class, we will get an exception because the constructor is private. It is not accessing another class. So we cannot create object of this class outside the same class. And then factory method. It returns a singleton object, as you can see. Okay, I'm going to show you this example in my test class. Let me just adjust everything. Let's remove this. Okay, this provides a global point of accessing singleton object and returns the instance to the caller. I'm going to use this method for calling the object of DB configuration again and again in my test class. That will have the main method. So let me go to the test class and then write the main method inside my test class for calling. So public static void main string args. Here, as you can see, I cannot create object. I have to call this method, static method. As you know, static methods are called by class name. So let me just create a reference, DB configuration, any D1 is equals to, let the class name dot get object. Okay. Then we just adjust D1, my first reference. Again, I am going to create another reference that will access the same object, D1 and D2. Now I will show you. Let's compare the objects that D1 holds and D2 holds by using the equals method. Indicates whether some other object is equal to this one. This method, equals method, is object class. You just save the code and then right click, run as run Java application. As you see, true is written as both of the references are pointing to the same object, which is returned by the get object method. Okay. This is a private constructor. This will return. If you want to see, I can just print it out for Singleton Design Pattern. Thank you.